Hello. Today we're going to be working on seed stitch. This is seed stitch right here. It's the border of a striped baby blanket that I made. I wrote the pattern for you, and I did this based off of my own stitches and calculations. So it is going to be available as a link in the description, and please let me know if you guys prefer to have them in document form like this, or whether you would like them on, say, my blog. And I believe in one of the other tutorials I also have the baby hat pattern, at least, so if you want to do a striped blanket and striped hat, you can look through my other tutorials to find that pattern. And here we will start with seed stitch. So seed stitch is a fabric of knit one, purl one, and then on alternating rows what you will be doing is purling on the knits and knitting on the purls. So it still is knit one, purl one, it's just where you put the stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and start with knit, and then I bring the yarn forward to purl. And then we go backwards with the yarn, bring it through, bring the yarn forward. Bring the yarn back for the next one. Bring the yarn forward. Very strange. I'm looking through the viewfinder and knitting. I think I like looking at the side better. It doesn't feel as funny. Okay, so hopefully the camera won't move around too much. So we just make sure we pull the yarn back before we knit, bring the yarn forward before we purl. If you're an advanced knitter, you can always just collect the pattern at the bottom of the page. Bring the yarn forward and purl. Bring the yarn back and knit. There we go. Now, basically, whatever stitch you ended with is what stitch you're going to start with. So if I ended on, it looks like I ended with a knit here, I'm going to start with a knit here. Now, I don't really want you to get used to identifying it that way, though. What's better is if you can identify what the stitch is itself. So see this bump right at the bottom of the needle? That is a purl. So that means we would knit on top of it. Next to it, it's a V, which would be a knit. The bump is a purl. The V is a knit. So, since we're looking at a purl as our first stitch here, I'm going to go on top of it with a knit stitch. Bring the yarn forward, and we're going to purl. Bring the yarn back, and we're going to knit. Bring the yarn forward, we're going to purl, and so on, all the way down. So we knit on a purl, and we purl on a knit. Making sure you bring your yarn back if you're going to knit, bring the yarn forward if you're going to purl, and again. So we're at the end of the row here, flipping it around, and so you're starting to see it. It's hard to see in the very beginning. I'll do one more row here, and then show you what it looks like again on the border of our blanket here. So let me show you this again. So at the very edge here we have a bump, that's a purl. See how that's a little V, that's a knit, and then there's a bump here, that's a purl, and then here is a V, it's a little stitch on top of the bump. See that little V there? That's the knit. So since we have a purl as the first stitch here, we're going to go on top of it and do a knit. Bring the yarn forward and we're going to purl. Bring the yarn back and we're going to knit. Bring the yarn forward and we're going to purl. So I'm just going to finish this row silently, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Then we'll show the actual seed stitch fabric on the blanket that I did. The border of the blanket is all done in seed, and the center portion of the blanket is stockinette stitch. So here we go. Seed stitch has started. And this is what seed stitch looks like up close. So it's kind of nice. And then the blanket is in stockinette stitch again. And here is the photo again. So the whole border down here and on the bottom and the top, so both sides, bottom, top, are all done in seed stitch, and then we just change colors in the middle for our stockinette. So I do have everything written down, and it's in the document, and then the baby hat also is in another, I have the pattern in the link of another tutorial, so you could go ahead and find that. Thank you so much for stopping by, and let me know what type of things you would like to see, and I really do, it takes me a long time to get knitting tutorials up because I prefer to knit the project to show you instead of just showing you a stitch, but give you something as well for spending your time here with me. Thank you so much. Take care.